In this particular video, you're going to learn how to create your viral product, and we'll show you exactly step by step how to create ebooks, how to create audios, and how to create other products. And we'll talk about how you should create it in relation to what you've learned so far, the planning, the process, the systems, the methods, and things like that. Now, before I get started, I do want to talk about the freebie list and the customer base lists. There are a few must-haves that you must have for your product in itself. The must-haves is that you cannot have private label rights. Basically, you cannot give away private label rights to your list builders. You have to have your name on it, because if you have private label rights, and maybe you can put in some rules about that, but if you do have private label rights, that means you give, your list builder can put their name on it. They can wipe everything out that links to you. So just make sure you don't have private label rights. And if you don't know what private label rights are, basically those are rights that allow your list builders to take your name off and put their name, but wipe everything else clean. We also talked about brandable affiliate reports. When you're creating your viral report or ebook, they can be brandable, and if you do go that route, try to make your report brandable. Now, we're not going to talk a lot about branding your reports in this video series. In fact, if you do search for a brandable report creation video series, you can find out more on how to go about that. Alright, so now that you understand the general aspect of this video series, I'm going to dive deeper into showing you on screen how to create ebooks, how to create audios, how to find a software programmer, and all these other stuff here. Let's start with ebooks. The first thing you need to create an ebook or a report with a list of valuable resources is some sort of word processor, whether you use Microsoft Office or OpenOffice. If you don't have Microsoft Office, then I would highly recommend that you get OpenOffice. And OpenOffice is basically the same as Microsoft Word. I've used it over the years, and I've recommended this word processor, and the best of all, it's free. So if you go to Google, type in OpenOffice, you will find openoffice.org, which is a free open source or open productivity suite. So if you go here, you go to download, you can download it and install it, and this is what it looks like. Now, as you can see here with OpenOffice, at least, you can see that it looks just like Microsoft Word. So you can type everything up, you can export it as a PDF file, and do keep in mind that if you do take this route, your file must be in PDF format. And PDF format is universal, so Macintosh users and Windows users can view PDF files. And like I said earlier, if you want to create a brandable affiliate report so that your list builders can brand the report, whether putting their name and their affiliate links to the report so they can get affiliate commissions later on, then do that. Now, with ebooks, you want to make sure that within your ebook, somewhere in the beginning and somewhere at the end, so maybe beginning and the end, you want to put a disclaimer, but you also want to say something like, you have received master resale rights to this product. And that would relate to the customer base list up here. You only give master resale rights or resale rights when you want your list builder to give away your product and keep 100% profits. But if it's a freebie list, then inside the ebook you want to say something like, you may give away this ebook or report for free, and here's how to brand it. Now, when it comes to software, it's a little more complex. but it doesn't need to be complex. In fact, if you want to create a piece of software, software usually are produced to solve a problem. So you've got to think of a problem. So you need a basic problem like, okay, I need a software that does this, but you need to be realistic. Some softwares can cost you anywhere from $1,000, $10,000 more dollars to produce, but for the most part, if you think of something simple and easy, then creating a piece of software is actually very easy to do. Now, keep in mind that software does require support. So it's best if you do create a software to include video tutorials on how to install the software, how to use the software, and show them step by step basically how to use the software, because that creates less support for your list builders. You could even say in your license that you don't support the software. But if the software causes a lot of issues for your resellers, then next time around when they resell your product or your list builders try to give away or sell your product, they might think twice about working with you. So make sure that you have video tutorials. Now, once you think of a basic problem, the solution is going to be the piece of software. You need to write up some sort of basic specifications, and I'll show you what that looks like. First of all, the way software programmers think is basically in a logical way. So if you can produce specifications or what your software needs to do, then in a step-by-step way, like step 1, the user enters their address. Step 2, the software goes to Google and searches for the titles and the descriptions, and it puts it into the software, something like that. That could be a software. Step 1, step 2, step 3. If you write it out all like that, you lower the amount that you have to pay. Now, I would highly recommend that you can go to Google here. I would say the best site to get programmers is scriptlance.com. So scriptlance.com. Scriptlance.com has been around for a long, long time. And I would say from experience as a software programmer myself, at the same time, using Scriptlance for many, many years, I have found that Scriptlance has been the best place to go. You can go to places like rentacoder.com, but I would recommend scriptlance.com over rentacoder.com because you get a lot more programmers bidding on your project. That happens the lower your bid rate goes. Now that brings us to audio interviews and podcasts. If you want to do audio interviews, then you need to get something like Skype. So as you can see, we've got Skype, and then if you do an audio interview, you need something like CallGraph. So if I go to Google and type in CallGraph, if you download CallGraph and you download Skype, then you can call people and record them as you record the audio interview. And CallGraph also offers a transcription service that is pretty cheap, as you can see here. CallGraph is very good. I've used it and it works wonders. So that would cover your audio interviews. Skype plus CallGraph. Now as far as audios in relation to you talking into the microphone, sort of like what I'm doing now, you will need a software called Audacity. So if you go to Google here and type in Audacity, Audacity is a free audio editor and audio recorder. So go to audacity.sourceforge.net. If you go to the site, go to download, just download the file whether you use a Windows, Macintosh, or Linux. And what it is going to look like, it's going to look like this. So this is what Audacity looks like. It's very, very easy to use. All you have to do is click record, and as you can see here, I'm talking, so it's recording into here. All you have to do that. You can edit it. You can save it as a WAV file, save it as an MP3 file. Now, if you're doing audios and podcasts, you probably want to save it as an MP3 file because that's pretty standard as far as audios go. So you could write up a script, maybe 4 or 5 pages long, because remember, about 2 pages is equivalent to about 4 to 5 minutes, or I'd say 1 page is equivalent to 2 minutes if you read it slowly. So if you want to get let's say a 20-minute audio podcast, then just write 9 pages of content, or even less, 6 to 9 pages, because you want to make sure that the content is good. Now, when it comes to audios, you have to package it right. Because with ebooks, you can link back to your site or a squeeze page. Software, you can do the same. But with audios, it's an MP3 file. So the best way to do it is at the end of the audio. Say something like, grab another audio by going to www, blah, blah, blah. And another thing is, let me go back to Audacity here. When let's say you have a file here. If you record here and then you file, export as an MP3 file, as you can see here, we've got ID3 tags for the MP3 file. So whenever anybody runs this MP3 file on their computer, they are going to see these tags. So you could put the title, you could put your name and album. What I would do is put your title, artist, which is your name, and make all of these short, but at the end here, put a comment that says, for another free video, go to www.something.com, and I would actually buy a domain for that secondary product that I'm giving out, because that way I can keep it short so that they can see it. And I would also package it with maybe a README file that they can read, so that you have an audio plus maybe a 2-page or 3-page report that has information on how to get your secondary freebie. So you increase the perceived value by having an audio plus a report, but at the same time, you don't miss out on people, not signing up for your secondary freebie, so that your list builders can send people to the product and they can build your list. Then we have video tutorials. I would highly recommend Camtasia. In fact, right now I am using Camtasia software now to record my screen. So if you go to Camtasia software and you go to techsmith.com, you can find more information about Camtasia. Camtasia is a little more pricey, but it is well worth it in the end, especially if you run a business. I believe that every business should have Camtasia because you can always create video tutorials. Then we have membership sites. I'm not really going to dive much into memberships because that's a little more complex, but there's a lot of information out there on how to create a membership site. If you do create a membership site, you could let people give away, memberships for free, and in turn, maybe they get profits, 100% profits, but you get the person who bought the product and they know your name already. Then we have teleconferences or webinars. If you do teleconferences and webinars, you can actually use a service called GoToWebinar that would actually fit the two. So GoToWebinar, and it's created by a company called GoToMeeting.com. And you can see how it works. Webinars are great because you can sell stuff in the webinars, but at the same time, for your list builder's sake, you can turn your webinars and your teleconferences the initial one into an actual audio or video product. You allow them to give it away for free, but within your webinar, you will basically, you can show them, you can sell them and give them great content and sell them on products, and then perhaps ask them to sign up on your secondary list. Now, that brings us to the secondary list or secondary product. So the last thing you need to remember is to make sure that whatever you do, ebooks, reports, software, audios, interviews, podcasts, video tutorials, memberships, teleconferences, or webinars, that you make sure that you have some sort of link back to your secondary product. And remember the double format method. If you want to increase your perceived value of your product, include double the amount. Ebooks, different formats. Ebooks, audios, software, video tutorials, audios, reports. Because if you do that, you increase the perceived value of your initial product. But at the same time, you will have more opportunity to get people to take action, to sign up on your secondary product. So now that you know the basics on creating a product, you can go ahead and create the product. You can easily do reports, ebooks within a few days or a week. Software could be less because it depends on the programmer. You're not programming it. Audios, videos, all should take less than a week. So now that you understand this whole system, you can implement it and apply it. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to approach list builders, how to find list builders to basically create a viral funnel and build your list very, very fast. And you will be pretty amazed at the simple method that I'll show you.